But you got two good starting pitchers tonight. And the first pitch is lined into center field for a base hit off the bat of Josh Rojas. Percentage of called strikes in the major leagues. Emmanuel Rivera takes outside, ball one. Good slider. One ball. Back-to-back sliders cut on and missed. Three straight sliders.
Brady's had 7 starts this season, those last 2, and his command. When he's on, he's a handful. And if it's a liberal strike, Singer has great tempo, good mound presence.
Brady has proven that when he worked around those 4 walks, he had a huge pickoff with the bases loaded in the 3rd inning. Separate the great from the mediocre.
Believe it. Look at that late breaking slider there. That explosive 2-seamer.
3-2 with Christian Marte. You figure will get something to hit on this 3-2 pitch, and he fouls it away.
Better believe that. 9th pitch coming. Yep.
Called, 3rd strike.
Left-handed reliever from Seattle. As for the injury news, and Joel Goldberg down by the Royals innings last night, he felt good enough to do that. He wanted to be able to do that. Battling some soreness like everybody is this time following that game Sunday in St. Pete, where he was unable to go deeper because of some cramping in that rest and that rehab. They said Greinke should be quicker than Stamont, who will take a little bit more time, guys.
Thank you, Joel. That's a base hit to center field for Christian Walker. Saw there that little biographical information. We're still getting to know each other.
There's no secret handshake between those schools.
That's right. The Royals out of the bullpen.
That's right.
2-1 on Marte, and he was 1-2 on Walker before the base hit, and now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Varsho. Strikeout number.
It has a natural running, sinking action.
Bunning back to Singer. 2 Diamondbacks scored 1 run last night in the first 6 innings, and then 6 over the last 3 innings. Up the middle. Nicky Lopez cuts it off, and that's in
slash bruise and barrels. But even though that's sparkling water.
And I won't say anything about the
of a bubbly water
or something like that. Put him on camera and he's not ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, you know. So, you know,
the best was that splash of carbonation that came flying out all over your face.
Good pitch, Brady.
Sergio Alcantara takes a strike. Started shortstop tonight. Rookie Gerardo Perdomo was there last night. Hit to left. Is Rojas in a rundown. Rojas is not base now in 21 consecutive games in the major leagues. A little bit low, 2 balls and 1 strike. With Rojas. 2-2. Fouled away, still 2 balls, 2 strikes. The record for most in 60 games, with Yordano Ventura right behind him.
Some mental tendencies with the competitiveness about him that Ventura did, which is good. Now we'll stop it there. Ventura
Another foul ball, and Brady said a few starts back, not because he's walking hitters and trying to pick at the corners. And that's another foul ball. It's still 3-2.
Yep.
Pitch number 10 in this matchup, and Rojas swung at ball 4, and Drew Waters makes the play in right field. Ball 1 on Emmanuel Rivera up against a white uniform.
Exactly.
So it'd be easy to.
Kelly.
You and I both thought that's a
pitch, so all that he put in, and he just never stopped. We saw it. Look, little backhand there, nice.
On his hands on that short hop to his backhand, to his forehand.
Yep.
To the throwing hand side and not the glove hand side, and he has to move his feet to. Still 0-2 on Marte.
On the pitcher would get offended if a guy stepped out on him like that in the middle of his windup. Nice pitch. Look at him, he finished him on a really.
Walker was down runs, which is 5th in the National League and ties his career high. One and 2.
Heartbeat. Because that's very unusual with his arm swing.
Rounded sharply, but right to Massey, and that's the inning. Pitcher's duel like tonight, but the reason for our visit tonight is to reflect on the life of Len Dawson. Deerdorf is the only 2 or 3 rather, who have accomplished that. And
it was great. He was the sports guy, 10 o'clock news, Channel 9, even while he was. And he said,
up the right field line into the corner and just inside the foul pole. Dalton Varsho hits his 17th home run of the year, and Arizona leads 1-0 in the 5th inning.
That's a very good athlete with some pop, obviously.
Yes.
And now fouled away by McCarthy.
Going to training camp, they were up at Liberty for training camp at that time, and he said, none of my receivers are in town. And I know a couple of times when the Royals are in town, maybe an hour, and we'll work out. And I'll ask you to run some pass patterns and practice site before they moved into Arrowhead. And so Swope Park, and then the last couple of years we did that. And we got to the point where we were doing some spotting where I'd run 10 or 12, break out, and the ball would be in the. We had a chance to meet some of the players that come out once in a while. Willie Lanier was a wonderful guy, great middle linebacker, Hall of Famer. And Willie came out, and I met him. So we were walking off to the cars after a workout, and Len came over and he said,
how about that? Len Dawson was praising your hands as a receiver. How about that?
Just so much fun to be around, and we really had a good time. Jimmy Hines, after
one that's not going to give you bruises.
Yeah.
That'll be caught by Massey for the second out. This is what I imagine, Denny. It was not only uncommon for former players to be anchors while they were still playing.
Yeah, absolutely rare. I don't think anybody else in the National Football League was doing a news. The show that they had for the NFL was a great show, and yeah, around he had a great connection with Hank Stram because he went to Purdue because of Hank Stram, and then of course the team in the AFL moved to Kansas City. What if Leonard had spent his entire pro quarterback career in Dallas? But that's hard to imagine. But
was it Inside the NFL on HBO? Was that the show? That,
yes.
Yeah.
For a long time. I'll talk to him. But Leonard was just, he just liked all sports. And
career is timed perfectly with that year that they won the Super Bowl. You coming here in 1969. And I mean, it was.
And George. But Yeah, doing our little workouts prior to their camp for, I think we did it for 3 years. That was
leaguers at that point because of your job with the Royals. But was there ever a time where you thought, my gosh, I'm running routes for Len Dawson? In the top of the first inning against Josh Rojas. And took off for second, but Brady had not thrown yet. Now grounded sharply to the right side. Massey throws in time. He does a lot of things right.
Sure does. I like everything I see defensively from him. From his
Emmanuel Rivera is 0 for 2. He's jammed and rolls one out to Nicky Lopez. He's called up and was acquired from Seattle in a trade earlier this year. Warms up. 9 in a row since 2016. And Dozier has it. It was Danny Duffy in 2000 start of 6 or more innings, and the first Royal in 5 years to do that. Only 6 pitches to get through the Diamondbacks. Pulled foul, and it's 0-2 on Walker. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Shevich ready. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That was a right to Nicky Lopez. 1 away in the 7th.
Would go foul and it stayed fair. 17th for Varsho.
And that's hit well into the right field corner. And Waters had it bases, but actually it's from home plate to the umpire. And specifically, but once it gets past the third or first base umpire, it is reviewable. So the foul ball.
Varsho backed off and ran into the grass out of respect for the pitcher. Because you know how. Yes, exactly. Pitchers don't want you anywhere near the dirt when they're throwing their warm-ups. They think you're timing them. You do that from the on-deck circle. You can see up here.
Final game of a stretch of 34 games in 34 days. Right center field. And Taylor makes the catch.